Hey everybody! Hey everybody, welcome back to Fools No Rules. Oh dude, no. I just remembered what we're looking at.
Oh. Like we watched the film that we're talking about today. Like, what was it, 2 weeks ago now? Maybe like a week and a half ago?
No, it was last week.
Was it actually last week?
It was last week.
Oh my god.
It was last week, and
we were supposed to record
he came
right
round,
after.
we played some Call of Duty, like we do. He comes around.
Because we're elite gamers.
We play some Call of Duty, we get some 360 no-scopes, get some kill streaks in there, get a care package or two.
Split screen is the best way to play Call of Duty.
Definitely. Why did we...
What's going on?
Why did we watch Suicide Squad, honestly? Like, why...
Because it's a part of our mission to examine one of the biggest...
I'm asking the wrong question. I'm just pissed off. Why... I can't express, like, how much my desire is that Suicide Squad just didn't exist.
But also, we never really saw it, did we?
No. You didn't really see it being anything like it is.
Yeah.
You didn't think it'd be anything at all. It'd just be another bland 5 out of 10 superhero film.
Oh, Henry. These fucking turnips. Oh.
What have you done to those
you hear
turnips?
that?
How have you prepared those turnips?
Do you hear how crunchy those turnips are? See, we talked at lengths about the many things you can do with turnips. All the different ways you can cook turnips. Not cook turnips as in, make food out of turnips. But what I'm doing today, I'm going back to basics, Henry. I'm eating a raw turnip right now. Completely...
You're going hardline.
Fresh, pulled from the ground.
I respect that.
Now, back in the olden days, Henry, when PewDiePie was still the #1 most viewed YouTuber. Sorry, these turnips are just so good, Henry. Oh, man. Oh, bless the turnip.
Bless the turnip.
Back in the olden days, when we still had capitalism, there was this thing on YouTube called ASMR, and whenever people were listening to like podcasts, their favourite thing was when you could hear someone like cough or sneeze or eat something on the radio or like just breathe really heavily. People loved that shit. It was like really soothing for them. It really improved the experience of listening to a recorded podcast.
Because I hate that shit. Like when I put on some headphones and I listen to something, I want to fucking kill myself. I want to get cancer and die because it fucks me up. It's killing me from the inside. It gets inside my
really
body.
crunchy.
Fortnite.
YouTube was just like a breeding ground for like
fascism,
crime, and subsequently fascism. Yeah.
I mean that was where the biggest fascist uprising originated from.
YouTube was just like one of the many arms of the fascist Google state, wasn't it?
Why do you think Jordan Peterson was so popular? He's our greatest enemy. How's
he doing? How's that lobster army doing?
Well, I think we've thinned them out a little bit, but I think he's really...
They've never prepared any sort of frontal display or attack or anything. They're clearly hiding in the shadows still. I don't think he's ready for a full frontal war.
Nah, he's deep. He's deep in the ocean.
But I mean, how many lobsters can you actually get? How big can his army? How can he actually? He's not going to get whales on his side, is he?
I don't.
I'm pretty sure the whales are socialist, or at least libertarian. I mean, libertarian
socialist.
Libertarians are dodgy, But they can go either way.
No,
They
but
can
I
swing.
think in like America, libertarian was associated with like capitalism basically, but the entire history of libertarianism has been very like
Well,
anti-capitalist.
libertarian is like very individualist sort of capitalist thinking. If you think about it.
Well, for like the American right wing it is, but like the history of libertarianism was like anarchism basically, like having as much freedom as possible, and so having like the capitalism as it was very authoritarian.
Well, that's the thing, because of the way capitalism like grew in like what was the modern American society. Libertarianism adapted to become just like this very typical American individualist way of thought, this anti sort of federal thought, this train of school, this idea of like government is okay.
Keep going.
What?
Keep going. No, keep going. I'm listening.
Laurie,
I'm just getting a blanket.
what the fuck?
I'm just getting a blanket.
This isn't okay. We can't use this.
I'm getting a turnip blanket.
Where did you have blankets?
Do you want a blanket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want a blanket. How many blankets have you?
I've got plenty.
Who made those blankets?
have an abundance of blankets.
You have an abundance of blankets? I didn't know about this. I've worked here for 7 years. Laurie. Where are the...
There's a blanket.
Oh,
Oh, do you
I
want this
remember
one?
these blankets. Oh, I'd like that one.
Okay.
Can I have that one?
Yeah, you can have that
thank
one.
you.
I like this
You
one
gave
just
me
as
the-
much.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's wrong, but that's fine. Thank you. You gave me the nice blanket. I didn't know we had blankets.
Well, we value the important things now, Henry. We're not interested in fucking Blu-rays. We
Right.
like blankets. We make blankets. We make these beautiful blankets.
I went off... Oh, that's really nice. That's really cool.
How much better is it with blankets?
I went off on a massive tangent. I'm warm now. See, that's the thing. It's fucking freezing up here in Siberia. What was Siberia? What do
No,
we
no,
call
well,
it?
it's like-
Turnip State?
No, we're still in the UK, but it's just like really far north.
Well,
Like,
The UK is really... It was the UK. Then it got known as the Siberian
Well,
Republic.
well, see,
And now it's the Turnip State.
the best place to grow turnips was kind of in areas where it's like really cold and windy. So they built these massive turnip fields. The first turnip fields in the UK, actually, when we brought the seeds over. And yeah, we just made the turnip fields in the moors.
And by building, he means literally demolished everything we built and
Yeah.
just made empty fields for turnips to grow. It just cleared out. They literally demolished everything.
Yeah.
We just then went back to mud huts. I think what was great about
Well-
the revolution was we just flattened
Hmm.
90% of the like globe's surface.
Yeah.
So turnips will just grow. We just
You've
use
got to
planes.
bury capitalism.
You got to bury
You've
it.
just you've got to destroy it completely.
It's like a metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right, that's what they did to like every single culture that came before them.
So we gotta show them.
yeah, it's dialectics, right? That's how it works.
That's exactly.
You
how,
just destroy everything that came before you.
Yeah, we gotta make a new world.
Yeah.
We gotta imprint our own image on this world,
Mm.
the way that neoliberalism imprinted capitalism.
And then when we built the turnip fields, we were like, okay, we don't want to execute everyone, so what are we going to do with all these people that, need to be re-educated? So we built a re-education centre.
Well, why not? I mean,
And that's where we are now.
education is an important thing.
And because, the turnip fields were there, so we thought, well, just get them to work on the turnip fields while they're at it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
They
everyone needs
spent
turnips.
They spent their whole lives doing nothing, just exploiting other people for profit.
Basically, what
And now
everyone else does.
they're doing what they were doing, but they're treated fairly because they live in a free society. And then when they get lectures from Mecca Noam Chomsky.
I mean, if they try and run out of the turnip fields whilst they're working, we will shoot them. That's what our jobs are.
But that's because they're just going to
free.
die of exposure, like we said.
Yeah.
It's for their own sake.
Like, we do it because there's no other choice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you want to die on the turnip field more?
Do you want a good death or do you want a bad death? That is not going to be a noble death, that, dying of exposure. Dying of fucking starvation. Getting eaten by a fucking mountain lion.
But most turnip breeders, they've accepted it now. And obviously J.K. Rowling ran away because none of her work was getting appreciated. she just couldn't improve. Like, she was. We gave her like 30 years, man.
She was garbage.
She just couldn't move on.
Is that the jumper that your mum made?
Yes, it is.
She didn't make the shirt as well, I suppose.
No, she didn't make the shirt. That came from the co-op. But the jumper she knitted, and it's very comfortable, and it's perfect for this kind of weather because I'm hopping in and out of buildings all day long, going to meetings and different places, and it's just perfect for the winter weather. Late at night here, it's quite disgusting. After the dinners are over and the division bell rings for 10 o'clock, there's fleets of limousines draw up, and out get large Tory MPs with even larger stomachs wearing dinner jackets, and they stride in to vote. Well,
You're not jealous?
not at all, because I turn down dinner invitations all the time. I don't think that's the job of an MP. The job of an MP is to represent their people.
We're still not talking about Suicide Squad.
We're not talking about Suicide Squad. We're not talking about Suicide
We're
Squad.
talking about Suicide Squad.
No, we're not.
But
We're
you
not talking about Suicide Squad.
you can't erase it from your mind.
Yeah, I can though.
No, you
I
can't.
can just decide that didn't happen. I can decide that this abomination of fucking bullshit
Right.
can fucking die in a fire.
Henry, we've reached a stage now where there's an elephant in the room. You know, we've talked about capitalist culture, and the most mainstream we've gone is fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, we've not really talked about
Like-
Harley Quinn's arse, have we?
Well-
Let's talk about Harley Quinn's arse.
You know, like Suicide Squad came out much closer to the revolution than Spider-Man. Much closer. By like 10 years. Not even that, it was like 6 years after it came out.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
wasn't
like-
that long after.
But it's like the only... It's kind of an outlier of the seed of that sort of creation.
It is like so different from Spider-Man 2.
It's just-
Spider-Man 2 is pretty pure.
Suicide
Harley.
Squad is just such a unique film in so many ways.
But it's such a dirty film. Like, every decision is fucking vapid. Like, nothing in it is made because they really enjoy... The people making it enjoyed character, or direction, or beautiful cinematography, or set design, or fucking anything. Makeup, fucking clothing, just anything at all.
But-
any part of the design or creative decisions were just bullshit. Oh, well, what's cool? Oh, Harley Quinn. Well, what makes her sort of a sexy, sort of conflicted girl character? Well, you know, she like chases after the Joker, and she wants to make love with the Joker. She wants to fuck him, and she's so sexy. Look at how sexy she is, but she's also a tough guy.
But see, the thing that a lot of people say, because it's so overt in the film how they sexualize Harley Quinn, that pretty much everyone that's reviewed it negatively brings up how they sexualize Harley Quinn. And the defense is always, well, she uses it as a tool. Like, she uses her sexuality as a tool. But there's a big hypocrisy with the film
It's
because
massively hypocritical.
because it's like she's like you know, when you first meet her in the jail, she's like pole dancing
Yeah.
basically, and it's the song that's playing is "You Don't Own Me," and the point is like she uses her sexuality as a weapon, and she won't let any man conquer her.
Yeah,
but at the
of
same
course.
time, she's extremely submissive to the Joker.
But I don't think it's even the debate of like why she uses sexuality, or why her character is related to sexuality. It's the fact that her character is so integrally in this film just connected to the presence of sexuality in the film, because it's a female
and
character.
the Joker. Like
And
Harley
the Joker.
Quinn's whole thing in this is that she loves the Joker.
Yeah, that's all it fucking is. But I mean, like, originally for the character of Harley Quinn, that was a much more significant driving point to not just make a statement, but create a very different character to what people had conventionally seen, especially in that art form of comics and superhero genre. Of someone, the character of the Joker is something we could talk about for hours because he's fantastic.
Jared Leto, he's just so good in this film,
He's
man.
fucking. Oh, isn't he great?
He's the one shining star in this shit film. Bless Jared Leto.
Hey Jay, on behalf of everybody, welcome back. I wanted to come by and personally say thank you. You making me good money, making you good money.
Are you sweet talking me? I love this guy. He's so intense.
Nah, fuck Jared
we can't-
Leto.
we can't.
Fuck Jared
No, I
Leto.
fucking
Jared
hate
Leto
Jared
is the
Leto.
fucking worst
He was
person in the
fucking-
world.
He's a fucking
Oh.
cunt. I want to fucking kill him. I'm not happy. I'm genuinely like, it bothers me. I was the age. But how old were we when The Dark Knight came out? Back in the
man.
pre-revolution.
I
days.
must have been like 12, 13.
I was like, yeah, I was like 13 probably. And the Joker was so fucking perfectly done by, you know, everyone can go on about The Dark Knight and how good it is, but it is like absolutely iconic and
Yeah.
timeless. And especially for someone that sort of like, you're that malleable and that open to different forms of shit.
Yeah.
I can't talk. But you're so open to films and especially, you know, things like that, that superhero films. For something to take it in such a different direction works so well because of the way Christopher Nolan's script and his direction worked and the film worked, and also his performance, obviously. But Jared Leto, Jared, shut the fuck up, oh.
See, it's so like before they started this fucking film, he'd done method acting where he like became the Joker, which involved a lot of harassing his co-workers by sending them like dead rats and shit.
Oh, a box of rats.
But basically, when they did the reshoots to supposedly make it like a more comedic and light-hearted film, and then when they edited it, they basically cut out like all of Jared Leto's scenes, and he was upset about it.
But it's like the few scenes that are left, it's like to an extent you feel like they may have cut his scenes not because they thought they were bad. I mean, to even keep any of his scenes is to like give like support to the fact that his performance is good and the portrayal is serious. But it's like they cut his scenes so much to making it a really small sort of like side plot. But it was like it was done in a build up to the Harley and Joker film, the standalone film. It was the way that Marvel films work. It's all just about hyping up the next film, and to use him in that way was not only to just sort of leave a little hint for fans to say, "Oh, look, we're going to do something even more amazing about this," but also to keep his role so short is to almost make it more, to give it more emotional strength.
Well, because
Like
it would have been a way more interesting film if that was like the focus, because it'd give it a focus, because the film doesn't have one. Like Harley Quinn and the Joker. Well, the Joker's a tertiary character, but Harley Quinn and Will Smith as Deadshot are like the two main characters of this, I guess. Like they're the ones that have the most backstory and have like the only sort of emotional connection, really.
Yeah, they just have like a 5-minute sequence. Like Will Smith just has a scene with his daughter, and she's like, "Oh, I know you're a bad person."
That's not true. That's a lie. She's lying to you.
Which is because the theme of Suicide Squad is family. It's a film about a bunch of supervillains that have been like brought together to make a secret task force, basically. So they're supposed to be able to defeat anyone like Superman that has these crazy superpowers that could destroy the whole world, basically. You're gonna get Harley Quinn, who has a baseball bat.
She doesn't have any power.
You're gonna
whatsoever.
have Will Smith, who can
The man who
shoot
can shoot
really,
anything.
really well.
The man who can shoot.
No, but
anything.
Henry, he can shoot really, really well, and he never misses.
Yeah. So we have the man who can shoot anything, Harley Quinn.
Because Suicide Squad knows that Superman's biggest weakness is bullets.
Yeah, definitely. But you've got to look at all the other characters as well, because this is a big ass squad.
Yeah, you're right. There's
a lot of people.
There's like just so, you know, each character is just so iconic in their own special way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
like the guy with the boomerang.
You have the man. So this is what I'm saying. You have Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
You have the person who can woman anything because she's a woman. You have the man who can shoot anything in Will Smith. You have the man who can boomerang anything. You have the crocodile that can crocodile anything, and you have the woman who can samurai anything because she's Japanese.
Yeah.
She's got a big fucking sword. She talks to it because her husband's soul's in it. And you have the man who can climb anything.
Mm-hmm. He's introduced as
The man who can climb anything.
Yeah, he's introduced with him like coming out of the car and just randomly punching a woman. Oh, and he's Native American, by the way. This is a film's depiction of a Native American person, or like I think not necessarily Native American, but First Nations or whatever.
But it's just this guy wearing a really shit Django Fett suit.
Yeah, he's introduced as the person that's gonna get killed because each character has like a sort of an introduction. Like they have title cards with like jokey descriptions of them,
they're all really
in all these different
stylized,
fonts,
really cartoony, really cool.
and then it's like, oh, by the way, there's this guy, and he just gets out of a car, and this is Slipknot, the man who can climb anything,
Just punches someone because he's so badass.
and it's definitely not that he's gonna die.
And then the sword woman as well. She just gets on the fucking helicopter.
Yeah.
And the
She's
guy,
not even a supervillain.
the guy that just like is leading their squad from House of Cards is just like,
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
there's a core audience for them that is just having to persuade themselves that DC films are good because they're DC films. They've got the Joker and they've got Batman and Harley Quinn and the Flash and the Cyborg guy and Wonder Woman and they made Wonder Woman cool. Like,
Well, let me begin by referring to something that I've already discussed. That is, if it is correct, as I believe it is, that a fundamental element of human nature is the need for creative work, for creative inquiry, for free creation without the arbitrary limiting effects of coercive institutions, then, of course, it will follow that a decent society should maximize the possibilities for this fundamental human characteristic to be realized. That means trying to overcome the elements of repression and oppression and destruction and coercion that exist in any existing society, ours, for example, as a historical residue. Now, a federated, decentralized system of free associations incorporating economic as well as social institutions would be what I refer to as anarcho-syndicalism, and it seems to me that it is the appropriate form of social organization for an advanced technological society in which human beings do not have to be forced into the position of tools, of cogs in a machine, in which the creative urge, that I think is intrinsic to human nature, will in fact be able to realize itself in whatever way it will. I don't know all the ways in which it will.
so welcome back to Turnip Radio. We're discussing what was the... I mean, it wasn't a cult film by any means, but it definitely wanted to be a cult film.
Well, it's kind of, this film was the
Suicide Squad.
Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC universe. It was kind of like the edgy one.
It wanted to be the edgy one.
For
Out of
Guardians of the Galaxy,
mainstream.
it was just that it was in space, right? Like, it was just a Marvel film in space. But that made it different enough because of how many films there had been on that, like, on Earth. And then, so going to space was actually quite different.
Actually quite refreshing.
Yeah. And so Suicide Squad is, instead of Batman or Superman, because they'd only made 2 films before this came out, what if it was criminals?
Yeah, and they also because they wanted to also make it a big mashup of several characters, like Guardians of the Galaxy or Avengers. They had to bring together all these characters, including the bad guy, the antagonist, fucking Cara Delevingne.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about that character.
Because that character's fucking awful. You see nothing. She's shit.
Henry, the real villain is a brother.
Her brother. Brother! Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Brother! So you have to introduce all these characters but they actually do not have the time, nor do they fucking care, nor do they have the patience to actually introduce any of these characters other than Will Smith and Margot Robbie, who are Harley Quinn and Deadshot. And even then, both of those characters and their fucking plots and their motivations are inherently completely flawed.
Yeah.
So the only characters they actually give any attention to are fucking bullshit. That they're just absolutely contrived characters.
See, maybe
from the get-go.
Like, maybe this would have worked if they'd had like multiple films about these characters where you saw them as the villains in that film. Like, if you had like multiple Batman films where you'd seen him with Harley Quinn and the Joker or Killer Croc as like major villains in those films, and now you're watching a film where they're all coming together.
See, if they'd had a film like Justice League or Batman v Superman, which in their own rights, and we'll get to that in the future, are fucking awful films.
We need way more time to talk about those.
But without them being shit, if they had instead used the characters of this, or at least one or two of them, as the antagonist, the bad guys in that, then and used them effectively, it would set them up automatically. So as soon as you introduce this film, Suicide Squad, you have a vibe, and you have a character, you have a setup, you know where you can go with it, because you've seen where that character, you've seen a perfect execution of that character already. You can use that, you've got stuff to work with, and the audience has got stuff to work with. Whereas this film just chucks them in. We pay someone a shit ton of money to do title cards and make it look really cool and integrated. But it's all on the surface. All of it's just vapid bullshit. It doesn't mean anything.
And if Harley Quinn's supposed to be the main character, why would you cut out all the scenes that focus on her the most with the Joker?
Well, exactly. And what is really left for her to do? She's left to pine after the Joker, make funny, flirty sexual comments to the male characters, and just overall be the thing that, hey, it does the sex, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, she, to an extent, she's more of a blocking of, like, cinematography and set design. Or at least, like, it is more cinematography, really, where she's more of an object to use in moving a scene, introducing a scene and using the camera, because they'll always pan it, like, around her character, like, oh, we'll get an arse shot in there. Get an arse shot in there and really establish where we are. Get the mood. And then, so you get characters like the fire guy, the fire Buddhist, who just get...
the fire Buddhist?
The fire Buddhist. Who just get relegated to just 2-minute scenes where they do something a bit quirky, a bit out there, or, you know, they have a really edgy, sad scene like in the bar where he admits that he murdered his wife and children for no particular reason. And that's it. That's all they get. Because what's more important?
But they form a bond because they tell you that they formed a bond.
Yeah.
Because they're family or whatever. And they've got to work together.
We're a family of bad guys.
And it's so strange how, like, you'd make a film about villains where one of them says, like, we all just want to be normal, really. Like, that's not interesting. That's just like...
Like, but at the same time, it's just a walking contradiction, because it directly displays so many times that Will Smith is just a fucking badass. Absolutely, he is basically a superhero. No one can actually realistically use a gun, a fucking weapon in the way that he does. It's just impossible. But they displays it, and it indulges in that, and is constantly like, oh, look at how fucking badass this guy is, yeah, go Will Smith.
Yeah, like, I wish they'd, like, at least give us a story of why he can shoot really good. Is it like a supernatural thing?
He's just he's just the hottest.
He's just really good. He's just the best Fortnite player.
he's just Will Smith, isn't it? You don't need to explain him at this point. You just use him for a role, because that's all he does. He plays that center badass cool piece ever since fucking Independence Day. You don't need to explain that he's a badass. We just assume that he's a badass.
Because it's Will Smith.
So let's have 5 minutes of him just getting headshots on bullshit stationary targets.
I really hope he's in the character of Deadshot when he plays the genie.
Of course, he's always in the character of Deadshot, Laurie, because he's just Will Smith. And we're playing some cool ass pop music over the scene where he's just shooting everything, You've heard popular music, right? You've heard Fortunate Son. You've heard Led Zeppelin, right? You've heard Black Sabbath. You know cool music, don't you? You're a cool person. We love our cool
then
soundtrack.
you make the album, and because everyone's like, oh, I know these songs, they buy the album.
Everyone buys it. It gets in the charts because everybody knows it.
But it is like
all my friends are heathens. Take it.
I think like it is another, because like this film is like, I'm not saying it's just like inspired or whatever. It is the Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC universe.
Yeah.
And like they even ripped off the music thing, except like the music is way worse. Like it's so obvious.
It's obvious, but it's not like really like well fluidly thought out. It doesn't go with the flow of the scenes and the structure of the film, because the film's structure is shit. It just does not work. Whereas with Guardians of the Galaxy, it at least has a more conventional format of build up of tension through different acts and a climax. Whereas this film has like just like 3 massive scenes drawn out for the last hour.
And because the music in the Guardians of the Galaxy is diegetic, like it's the cassette tape that his dying mother gave to him right before he was kidnapped by aliens, and that's the explanation. And he even uses like his headphones as a prop in like key moments, and it makes you feel like more connected to the character because it's like an actual thing that has emotional weight in the story.
You also relate to it because it's music that we all know and love. So it's a driving plot point as well as a way to integrate and bring audiences in and to make it feel more relatable. But it works. Again, it works. Whereas in this film, it's just like incredibly obnoxious. I think. It's just shoved in. It's just every part of this film is not properly thought out and integrated by a few people or one person. It's just like a mishmash of professionals being paid to do their individual job, and then just chuck it all together. One person just chose all the music for the whole film. Yeah. Instead of like I've not looked this up, but that's the feeling that you get off of it. That it's just ticking boxes. Someone's just, I've got to get some really cool popular music. I've got a massive budget to get the copyright to really famous popular rock and pop music.
I wonder if like in the how they wanted to make it more sort of lighthearted, if like they added in the music later, and originally it had its own score that maybe
it does
fitted.
have its own score.
Yeah, but I mean maybe like it's kind of how in Guardians of the Galaxy it's used to connect to Earth when it's set in space. Yeah, it's using like pop music to connect to some sort of happy thing that you are familiar with. Yeah. To contrast with the fucking weird dark tones of the film.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think that's definitely what it's trying to do. But even then, the contrast for one doesn't work because the music doesn't work. But then the dark tones, the way that the film tries to be edgy or tries to be gritty and adult, it also falls flat on its face as well.
Well, right, because it's black humour. That's only as black as a PG-13 film can get. And humour that doesn't work because people don't know how to write jokes or do characterization.
It's just really shit high school humour, honestly, a lot of it. It really is just boring. But the actual dark, the black part of the film where it's edgy and it's trying to capture that Christopher Nolan Batman spirit of every DC film has got to be really dark and serious. But just a little bit of undertone of comedy. But that's where Jared Leto comes in. Because he's trying to be out there and wacky, but he's also trying to be serious. He's trying to be this Joker that we comprehend in the same way that we saw Heath Ledger. I do not know what Jared Leto is thinking, and I do not know how he sees his performance or how he intended it. Because it's just so fucking atrocious that you actually can't judge how it came across in his mind. Because it's fucking awful. And the writing, the script, the shot, the cinematography, the directing doesn't help either. Yeah. But it is just the fucking worst. And when we talk about like the darkness of it, you've got to have that contrast. The few Joker scenes we do get, where we try to really establish the Joker in this universe. In that scene where you can really compare it to Joker scenes in The Dark Knight, where we learn his character, like the pencil scene and stuff, where he instead just has loads of laptops set up around him with just complicated matrix screens, and he's got literally
Loads of
300
knives.
knives in a circle around him, so that in front of his one of his little cronies, he can just lie back and go, and we're supposed to take that seriously.
Just because it's like he's more like someone who's spent way too much time on 4chan than an actual psychopathic criminal mastermind.
It's fucking ridiculous. And also, like, he's also, like, just not comprehensible as, like, a real... Like, of course it's the Joker, but everything, again, is contradictory. He's just this little edgy 13-year-old lying on a big sandy set of knives laughing. But at the same token, he's this big mastermind that sets off robberies and assaults on whoever the fuck with all his cronies. And they're all wearing, like, really, like, extensive outfits. Like, one's got a massive panda fucking outfit.
One's got a Batman mask.
They're all, like, pretty extensive costumes. Like, he's got to have put a lot of time and effort even into making those or paying for them.
We
don't
spend
see
so
any
much
of
time
that.
thinking about the weird logistics of these Joker scenes. Like, why does he have a shiny pink Lamborghini?
How long did he just kneel in the sand just putting those knives
Why
in the
does
right
he have all
position?
these weird tattoos on and like these outlandishly designed guns?
And it feels like every single question that you ask, the answer is because he's edgy. You feel like that's the only answer they have.
Well, I
Oh,
wonder
he's
if it's
the Joker.
It's
he's
weird.
edgy.
Like, it's weird how opposite it is to Heath Ledger's Joker in terms of like he's all about the sort of like wealthy side of being a gangster almost, like just having all these extravagant sort of possessions. And in The Dark Knight, the Joker literally burns a mountain of money, and it's like that's actually like he's supposed to be rebelling against the system, and in Suicide Squad, it's just like he's just a rich guy
He's
who's
just a part
crazy.
of the fucking
He's just a
system.
crazy rich guy.
But it's like they're both trying to do their own Heath Ledger Joker and subvert it at the same time. Like,
But that's like the fucking. There's no sense of anarchy or rebellion in these villainous characters because all they want to do is be normal. Apparently, like the main villain is a woman who's in love with like the guy who's supposed to keep all the squad in check, and she's possessed by a ancient god who becomes the main villain and makes the blue sky and blue light in the sky
Yeah, blue
because
light in the
of
sky.
course it's one of those fucking films.
Blue light in the sky.
So it's like you have these rebellious characters who just want to conform.
Yeah, well, it just because you've still got to relate to them. Like,
Yeah.
that's how they try to make them relatable. Is well, they're all bad guys, but they all want it. They just want a normal life.
Think of
Well,
the
doesn't
children.
everyone
They
want
just
a
want
normal
kids.
life?
So see, like in Arkham City, there was like a really sort of it's actual like black comedy where you find like Harley Quinn's room and she's got loads of pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
And it's like she's this psychopath who just wants to have like a nuclear family.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you get that it's a joke almost.
Yeah,
And in
of
this
course it
it's
is.
just there's no sense of that.
There's no sense of like creativity with the character. They haven't really done anything new. They haven't come up with any ideas that aren't contrived or aren't already done or are just executed terribly. It just doesn't feel like, again, it's not really someone's passion project, this film, to me. It was just made by a board of people. Well, I mean, we know it had creative struggles.
Well, the writer and director of this went on to make Bright, you know, the film about orc racism. And, like, orc racism is a massive problem, and we need to stop all orc racism.
I mean, I thought frog racism was worse.
I don't know.
Frog
Like,
racism
I think
is
if you
pretty
listen
bad.
to some orcs talk about their experiences, but like in the Bright film that was about orc racism, they just make it like, oh, they're just black people. It's just straight allegory. And it's really almost kind of like cultural appropriation and like pretty racist at some points. But
Jesus.
but it's just like, yeah, like no idea of subtlety at all.
Well, that's the thing with Suicide Squad. Like, subtlety does not exist in this fucking universe. Nothing. Every single theme, idea, motivation, story plot, or any story thread, it shows you it as obviously as possible. Nothing is missing here, and that's what makes it so fucking boring. Because no scene is interesting. There's no layers going on. Everything you see is what you get, and there's
It's just
nothing
okay.
more than
It's
that.
like it's like the story's a product, and the editing and the filming process was deciding how to package it. Like,
yeah, of course it is. 'Cause
it's
it was
just
a
that.
product. Like, it really is. I mean, even the Joker himself is like, he's like, you could make an argument that the Joker's pretty like pro-capitalist ideology.
Yeah.
Like, because he is just a fucking rich guy that spends loads of money on his massive crime syndicate, but he's just part of this system of money revolving constantly. It's just really
Well, like,
depressing.
look at all the fucking chains he's got on.
He just dress it. Look at all his fucking characters. So much time and effort's gone into this, and he has expensive weapons. His fucking haircut probably costs him 200 quid a month. If a month, probably every 2 weeks. His fucking tattoos would have cost him a shit ton. His fucking massive jacket probably cost him a grand.
Just imagine the Joker like sitting still for hours on end while someone's doing these intricate tattoos.
His fucking teeth. He's got like, are they silver or gold plated or some shit? He's just like this iconography of like this. He's like a rock star. He's like a fucking modern.
Yeah, that's
music
exactly
star.
what he is. Yeah.
Where it's like they've got way too much money on their hands, but they're still trying to capture this image that appeals to young people, which is that of rebellion. And it's just contrived and heartless. It like really is. And on top of that,
It's corporate as fuck.
on top of that, Jared Leto is fucking cringy. And I mean, he's fucking cringy. I want to see the other takes. I want to see every single scene that they didn't put in here. And every other cut of it that they actually completed.
But you know what? There were people that fucking liked Suicide Squad.
There's a lot of people that liked it.
Like, this might be the most popular, like, maybe not in terms of box office, but like, it's the one that people always defend. Like,
The most popular
maybe
shit film.
maybe Batman vs Superman was boring, but look, there's always Suicide Squad, right? No.
Suicide Squad's
No.
fucking atrocious. Like, it is way worse than just boring DC films. Because DC, most of them are fucking atrocious, but a lot of them are just sort of fucking dull. Like, Man of Steel especially is the most dull. But Suicide Squad has got far more shit going on.
But we should hear them out, shouldn't we, Henry? Like, you know,
should we hear them out? Let's have a look.
We
at
should.
them.
Let me
Can
just.
Can I have an example of a person that would give this film 10 out of 10?
Well, let me just.
Give me an example. Give me an example. What would be the thought process of someone that believed this film was like a solid 8 or 9 out of 10?
I mean, we've already talked about how like
What's its
when
rate?
when you've spent so much money on like DC stuff, like in terms of comics, and they've already gone and seen like Batman vs Superman in the cinemas loads of times, so they're already just monetarily invested in the success of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And like we said, they can't accept any criticism, because if you criticize DC films, you're just a Marvel fanboy.
Obviously. I mean, you don't just not like the film. You're clearly criticising it for a purpose.
Yeah, obviously, it's purely ideological.
But I mean, on IMDb, Suicide Squad has 6 out of 10, which isn't a good rating exactly, but 6 technically is good because it's above 5. 5 is the average.
And also,
So
like,
it's clearly giving it a positive.
like back in those days, like the average population, the taste was just so fucking bad, Henry. Like, everyone was just a fucking idiot, honestly.
People were fucking idiots. Let's be honest. I mean, people will always be fucking idiots.
Okay, here we go. User reviews.
Perfect movie for all audiences. Suicide Squad is a wonderful and fun movie for you and your friends. It is so much better than Batman vs Superman, and a lot more fun than the past DC movies.
See, like,
This-
hey, even if you didn't like those ones, trust me, this one's much better.
This could be the movie that saves DC from the bad reputation it has because of Batman v Superman. Harley Quinn was awesome. Margot Robbie did a great job. But the Joker wasn't as good as Heath Ledger's Joker. Katana, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Enchantress, as well as Rick Flag were great, but El Diablo, the fire guy, was a little dull. Interesting. And Slipknot, well, he wasn't in the movie for so long. At the end, this movie is a great movie and worth your time. That's why I give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh.
But they actually gave it a 10. They gave it a 10.
Great. I've got a review here from I believe President Donald Trump. Ex-president, I should say. He's in the turnip fields now. 10 out of 10. Best superhero movie ever. Love this filmed better than Civil War, BVS, Deadpool, way too good. Love the acting and the script was amazing. Jared Leto was an amazing Joker. Love this movie. The effects, acting, script and everything was on point! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Full stop. Will Smith was so funny and amazing. Everything was, and the using was with a Z. Everything was too good, and I believe DC has finally done it. But I lived Amanda Waller, she was so bad. Pros, script, effects, actors, amazing movie ever. Cons, could have been longer and extended the story.
What? No! It could have been longer. I've got another one here, which is fantastic. And this is also like a 10 out of 10. The more I watch this, the more I think Jared Leto is the best Joker I've ever seen. We have all this dark magic cack going on in the background. The sorceress is making an army out of charcoal people. But what's the Joker doing? He's getting, quotation marks, his pudding back.
Oh yeah.
All of the members of Suicide Squad have things they'd rather be doing. But the Joker, he just wants his pudding. He'll do anything for her. I love this film for the backstory of Harley Quinn and the Joker. It explains a lot.
I wonder
about
how do they feel about them cutting like most of those scenes out?
Well, I think they don't mind because it explains a lot about the character.
No, wait. What if this is the one person that saw the film like that and they think that's what the actual film is like?
My first introduction to Harley was in the animated Batman. Margot Robbie gets it. She's that exact Harley. Oh man, Will Smith was doing a great Deadshot.
Oh,
there are some truly great moments in this, but it takes a while to get to them. Oh man, see, people, it's just perfect proof that people are fucking idiots.
Well, you know, a lot of the language that we've seen here hasn't been particularly lucid, but this guy's really got it together, I think. 10 out of 10. Biased tomatoes were wrong after all. Do not listen to the critics. I literally just walked out of the midnight screening, and can I say this movie delivers on every level. Gorgeous cinematography. Perfect character developments. Thrilling action sequences where, by the way, you can't see what they're shooting at. Like these like drones that they've made, so they just have some cannon fodder to look like badasses. Like you can't see what they are. Because of how dark they're shot.
Most of the film, you have no idea what's actually going on. You can't see any of it. You actually can't see any of it.
But those thrilling action sequences and an easy-to-follow plot line that will make you enjoy every second of it.
Yes!
Not to mention, this movie knows how to balance its seriousness with its humour. And when I say humour, I mean real humour. Jokes that work with the situation, not forced punchlines like most Marvel movies seem to do. Please, I urge you to go see this film. It is definitely worth your time. The sequences accompanied with the soundtrack is enough to fall in love with this movie. Keep 'em coming, DC.
Keep 'em coming, DC.
28 out of 61 found this helpful. I've got another good one.
I can't do it anymore.
Okay, this one.
With this film.
This one, I believe, was written by an 80-year-old man.
No, it wasn't. That's
Critics were drunk. I can assure you that. 10 out of 10. This movie is slow. I agree, but it had to be because not everyone has read the comics. Okay, this is right. This film is not an adaptation of Suicide Squad comics. Like, you can't say like you have to have read the comics to understand this film because they're not connected. They're not the same story.
No.
Anyway,
This is just like an amalgamation.
all I have to say is that the bad reviews are so wrong given the performance of this movie. If you are a 10-year-old Marvel fan, this one is not for you, however. If you're... Oh, wait. Sorry, I need to reread that. If you are a 10-year-old Marvel fan, this one is not for you. However, if you're a 15 or over, this is one of the best comic book adapted movies I have seen. It is straight out a comic show. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn was amazing, and Will Smith has mastered Deadshot in this movie. I should say there isn't much about Jared Leto's Joker, given his less than expected screen time, but I liked what I say.
What? Have they just spelled that wrong?
Yeah, that's just a spelling mistake.
Fucking retards.
Cara Delevingne is quite the biggest gossip diva, and I shall admit her acting was up to the mark as well. I'm happy that David Ayer didn't make it a comedy circus we know as Captain America Civil War.
I don't see why it matters to anyone. The whole Marvel versus DC.
Because
thing, who fucking cares? If you like something, that's fine.
Because they're direct competitors in the market. The fans of both sides see it as some sort of war. Although I think a lot of Marvel films aren't as clandestine as DC fans. Because it's just Marvel films, everyone sees them. And it's the same with DC films, really. Like, this is just a vocal minority.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Most people are just like, it was a film with some action and some characters that
just
were
did some stuff.
Cool, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever, who cares? I'm just going to go home and watch TV for 6 hours.
But this film isn't that. This film is, like, actively insulting to everyone. It's just, like, so fucking...
But it's because our standards in the mainstream now are so low.
But it treats the audience like fucking idiots.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you don't need any real engagement with this film. You don't need any, like, intricate characters or plot
But
design.
it's just like, here's some action scenes. That's all you came for.
Badass stuff. This character said something cool. Oh, funny. That was funny.
Look at these guns and the sword that can suck your soul into it.
We put music with this to make it cool. Oh, we made them jump and do fight scenes because it's cool. It's just fucking old people sat on a board thinking, what are the young people going to pay to go see? What are the people that we have no idea what their likes and interests and their fucking life is like? What are they going to go see?
Oh my god. I've just found the greatest review I've ever read. Okay. Short, honest opinion, not a fanboy. Okay, he's letting us know straight away. This movie really isn't bad. Blockbuster attributes, check. Fun, check. Action, check. Pretty lady, check. Bad bitch, check. Some life-changing quotes, check. And too emotional plot, check. What you people don't like so much about it? I don't say it's the best movie I've ever seen, but it's worth your time and money. It ain't that Marvel-type comic adaptation, but in its own right delivers some fun and action, plus MR's bum? Oh, Margot Robbie's bum. Right, great. Smith's try to be fun comments. Croco is good. Boomerang looks really crazy with his little pony. Honestly, 7 out of 10, but for all those haters out there who don't enjoy, just talk shit about everything, 10 out of 10. Aloha.
Oh yeah, sorry. We just talk shit about everything. You can't expect a certain standard of like entertainment for your money. I know we don't. We're past that age now. Thank the communist overlord for our turnips. Thank the world for the turnips.
Thank the turnip for the turnips.
But in that fucking world where you had to work every day, you had to sell your fucking labour for the money to spend to go and experience art, experience anything. You expect a certain standard, not fucking Suicide Squad. I don't need that shit. I don't want that shit. I don't need that shit. Who the fuck made that shit?
Imagine seeing this film in IMAX.
You do what? What? It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. It is just a cash-in.
But it's just a joke like the entire DC franchise, Henry.
But the Joker, lol, everything is chaos. That was the intent.
But I think
Laurie.
that-
they
that-
intended it.
That review that was just like listing off certain things and saying check, that is like what the people that made the film had in mind. Like, okay, have we got this? Have we got this? Have we got this? Have we got this? They're just ingredients.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, they're ingredients to a recipe.
Yeah.
The recipe for
A
a
mass
good superhero film.
fucking produced recipe.
Oh.
There's so much more to talk about for the rest of the DC universe.
There are some interesting other dynamics because this is the one that's just sort of gross. Like it's just a bit gross that it happened.
Yeah.
Your mum thinks it's gross. Your son secretly thinks it's gross.
Even the people that made it probably
People
just
that
want to
made
move
it,
on.
don't
Have a
really
hot
care.
shower.
They've moved on. They don't care. Will Smith don't care. He got his money. He's back to his YouTube videos. No one gives a fuck. But I think DC is like a Pandora's box. Once you see one of them, you start to see all these other ones and how they all fuck up in their own way.
Because
because
they
they all fuck up in their own way.
It's like a sort of eldritch horror where it's something that drives you insane, but you're also addicted to it.
Oh shit! There's one at 4 minutes past 3. And one at 20 past 4 after that, so I think I'm going to have to get this one.
Oh man.
Because I'll have to wait an hour and 20 minutes. I think I am going to have to go get it.
We could watch Suicide Squad in that time.
I'm going to fucking
not-
stab you in the
No,
face.
I wasn't actually
Who the
suggesting
fuck are
it.
you? How the fuck would... Who are you?
I wasn't actually
What?
suggesting it, Henry.
I'm done.
Okay.
Will Smith needs to fucking die. Fuck this. I fucking hate Suicide Squad. I want to fucking die.
Joker.